Certainly. Here's the complete translation of the text. One girl moved with her parents to a new house. In the new house, she made many new friends. The house stood on the edge of town, near a river and a forest where they could swim and pick berries and mushrooms. The children who lived there often played together because they all knew each other, and their parents visited each other frequently. But there was one boy who never played with them, although he often went outside. He would sit on a bench, much like an old man, and sit there doing nothing until it was time to go home. Why doesn't he play? The girl asked one day to her new friends. He's sick and isn't allowed to run around, said an older boy. He used to play with us before, but now he's not allowed. One day, the girl went out for a walk. Her mom had said they had errands to run soon, so she shouldn't go too far from home. But the yard was empty, except for the sick boy sitting on the bench. He waved to the girl to come over. Everyone went to swim in the river, he said when the girl approached. That's too bad, said the girl. Mom told me not to go far. Then she thought for a moment and asked, "Can you really not run?" "It's true," nodded the boy. "There's something wrong with my heart, but soon I'll have an operation, and then I can play with everyone again." The girl sat down next to him on the bench. "Aren't you lonely sitting here alone?" she asked. "No," replied the boy. "I look around and see so much happening that others don't notice." "Really?" The girl was surprised. "Like what have you seen?" The boy shrugged. "Various things. For example, the sun has eyes, it just rarely opens them." "Really?" The girl looked at the sun, but it looked perfectly normal. The boy chuckled softly. "You have to look very closely to see it. And if you look closely at the clouds, after a few days you'll see that they repeat themselves. And also," he suddenly fell silent. Frowning, the boy watched as a man walked by. The girl had seen this man before. He lived in an old house surrounded by thick blackberry bushes, but for some reason, the children never picked blackberries there. The girl didn't like this man at all, but she couldn't say why. "Did you see?" the boy asked when the man was gone. "See what?" the girl asked. "His shadow is twice as long. Stay away from it, if you don't want to end up needing an operation too." The girl didn't understand what the boy meant by this, but then her mom called her. After that, the girl saw the sick boy a few more times, but he didn't say anything more. And then he stopped appearing altogether. At first, the girl thought maybe he had the operation done, but then the children in the yard said he died, his heart had failed. For some reason, the girl immediately thought the boy didn't die because of his heart. She had tried to look closely too. She had noticed that the clouds in the sky repeated themselves, and the long shadow of the man who lived in the house overgrown with prickly blackberry bushes. The shadow not only was very long but also seemed to move differently. It was as if it lived separately from the man. And the girl even felt like the shadow was watching her. The girl was scared to look at this living shadow, and she asked other children about the man. Interrupted one boy. "Don't talk about what you've seen. The adults won't believe you anyway." My brother tried to say something about it, and a few days later they found him dead in the river. At first, they thought he drowned, but then they found out he had died before he fell in the water. "Then what should we do?" the girl asked quietly. "We'll take care of it ourselves," the boy replied. "We'll get rid of that man with the living shadow." A few days later, the children sneaked out at night, poured kerosene on the blackberry bushes, and set them on fire. The fire was so intense that even the firefighters couldn't put it out. It burned until morning, and in the morning, all that was left of the old house was ashes. Among the ashes, they found charred human bones. The children were happy their plan had succeeded. However, the next night, one of the boys died. The following night, another one, and someone died every night. Only children, and the adults couldn't do anything. The girl's parents took her and moved to another town. But a few days later, they woke up to a loud scream at night. When they rushed into the room, the girl was already dead. Around her neck was wrapped a thick stalk of prickly blackberry, and her hands had severe burns, as if she had held them in fire.